Good morning. All right, let's take a look at some runners here in pre-market. We have a few of them. Really nice pre-market action so far. So GXAI, this is one of them. One of these AI runners. Kind of junk AI stocks. Up really nicely, low float stock. Let's see what the news is. We want non-biotech stocks. So let's see what we have. They're launching an AI image video creation platform targeting multi-billion-dollar market. That's a good one. So they're actually launching something. And it's always fun to go to their websites and check out what these really tiny companies are doing. Usually these companies are just riding the momentum to pump up their stock. So I don't see a link to it. Take a little trade on it here. See what we do. We have LASC as well. What's going on with LASE? See, this one's holding up pretty well. Really like how this is holding up in pre-market. Bit of a breakout level right here. Bumping up against that, trying to push out. So this looks like it could have a bit of a morning spike. All right, we have earnings news. It says it's down on earnings, but it's actually running. Trading higher after the company reported year-over-year increase on Q2 financial results. So it's up on earnings. We'll see if that sustains itself into the open or not. It's not a biotech, so that's cool. PRFX. Deep Solar accepted into NVIDIA Connect program. So PRFX looks like a solar stock. Is that right? It says it's healthcare. How does that make sense? PRFX. Today announced Deep Solar. Maybe that's just a tricky name. It does say Solar Energy Business Unit. Okay. Next generation AI-driven solar analytics. So a bunch of keywords. That's funny. So what's confusing here for me is this is a healthcare stock, pharmaceutical company, PRFX. Yeah, I didn't type it wrong. So I don't know. Now we have a biotech getting into solar and AI, I guess. Very confusing. You can see back here, they acquired some other biotech company on the 13th. So, yeah, very strange. To advance AI-driven solar forecasting. There we go. I guess we have a biotech becoming an AI company and a solar company all at the same time. All things to everyone. That's right. It's the everything company. Solving all the problems. Okay, what else do we have? That's pretty much it. Add, not really up enough. VCIG, nice fade in pre-market already. Took a little piece of that one. Announces a $2 billion partnership secured by sovereign grade encrypted infrastructure, whatever that means. All right, let's see here. All right, so what does this mean? Cross-sector platform builder integrating deep technology with financial architecture to enable sovereign-ready digital ecosystems. Okay. A bunch of nonsense, basically. Doesn't mean anything. Something with Bitcoin. Who cares? It's going to go down either way. It's the buzzwords. Just got to throw out the buzzwords. Make the stock pump so that you can dump. All right, that's pretty much it. I want to talk about these swings really quick. We got some interesting swings on you. Okay, so this is a uranium stock. Energy, as we know, AI is going to need a lot of energy, and we don't have enough energy. So probably all these energy stocks are going to be running like crazy because AI. There you go. We've got a really nice looking flag on this one. So we bought it back over here into the flag. It's been riding up this 20 moving average really nicely. And it's maybe starting to run. Hard to say for sure, but it had a really nice green day yesterday. So it's looking pretty good so far. And we want to see a string of green days like this. Ideally push it up to 14, 15 bucks, somewhere in there. And probably sell it into that move. PayPal. What is PayPal doing? PayPal's deciding if it wants to go for the bounce and fill the gap here, or if it wants to go another leg down. If it goes down, we'll have to cut. But there's a good chance this gap gets filled. And we've seen some other ones run with pretty much the same exact setup. Look at that MACD on the daily. We had the first trigger on that green MACD on the daily, so that's a good sign for the trade. So we need to see that follow through though, and just see it at least hold up and then maybe get going. Start moving back up would be really nice. It is getting tight on the 2 hour right there, so it's looking like it wants to decide. It's going to make a decision pretty soon. Alibaba. Difficult to say how this one's going to play out, but we do have a pretty clear flag over here that's broken out. And it's holding the top of that flag so far. It is holding the top of that flag so far. We want to see it obviously not break down through that level and then make its way back up. So we simply have a trade on this trend break, and we want to see that bounce back up. Let's see, what am I risking on this? Below the trend line. There you go. All right. Nike. This one's been really good to me. So again, we had a trade back here, sold into the breakout, and then rebuying the dip. Already sold half, holding half for a bigger move. So we want to see that push over the high, continue making higher highs, higher lows ideally. We'll see if we get the follow through on that. So far it's looking good. Lululemon. This one's an interesting one because it's down so much. Obviously with the trade war going on. Kind of getting hit. A lot of dependence on China. So the question is, are we factoring in all that stuff so that we can start making a rebound? Even back over here, it had a really nice rebound back from April. Super nice move, 25% bounce right there. So the question is, are we going to do the same thing again with Lulu? Kind of 2 legs down now, and it's starting to chill out a bit. So it seems like maybe we can get a bounce on it. We are going to try the swing on that. Bought some yesterday. So it also kind of reminds me of this section right here of the chart. So we had a pretty wild downtrend. And we'll see what it does. But this setup looks pretty much identical to what it did back over here. We had this gap down, tried to reclaim the moving average, failed. So either we are right here and it's about to try to reclaim and then failed pretty hard, or we're right here and it's going to reclaim and then put in a really nice bounce. So it is at a bit of a decision point. But it does seem like, to me, this has a pretty good chance of holding up. Another thing, you get these stocks that are legit companies, and when they pull back like this off the all-time highs, 60% discount off of the all-time highs, that is usually best case scenario. It could go a little bit more. It could be more like 75%. But that's pretty much all you usually will see is worst case 75% drop off the top. It doesn't have to do 75. It might just stop at 60. That might be all you get for the dip. It is hard to say. But we're going to be looking at this 20 moving average. We want to see it reclaim that. Pretty much just look like this. And then hold it, start putting in a nice bounce. So if it fails that moving average too much, probably just cut it and reassess it. Sort of reminds me of Tesla back over here. So Tesla had this crazy pullback off the top again. That one was a 75% dip off the top. And then that was the bottom. So it ended up holding really nicely. And you can see too, it reclaims that 20 moving average on the daily. And then it never really came back down to there at that point again. So it's kind of what we want to see with Lulu as well. Hopefully we get a nice aggressive bounce. Look at that, 60% bounce off the bottom. Isn't that funny how the math works? Because you've got a 75% dip off the top from here to here. But then if you buy the dip, it doesn't even have to reclaim all the way back up, and you can make 50% in a couple of weeks. %60 if you do really good. You can make 70% right there too. Pretty much if you nail it. So the math just works better for longs. It does look like Tesla is holding this wedge really nicely. And it's holding a flag right at the breakout, right at the top of the wedge, right here. So it does seem like this is about to break out to me. Does seem like a breakout's coming. For Tesla. I could always be wrong, but that's what it looks like right now. And we'll check on the algo here for Tesla. So this was the prediction, this little zigzag pattern, consolidating, tightening in the wedge. And you know, it could definitely just come back to the bottom of that wedge again. It faked out the bottom, it faked out the top. Now what? So just the way it's holding here, so far it looks pretty strong. Held a nice dip right here, and it already bounced back up, so we'll see. So the algo here is long from 321. Still long. It is up 30,000 on this position. So pretty nice, pretty nice. All right, let's see. That's pretty much it for the main watches. Obviously, we have UNH, which is getting some momentum back, holding up really well. Berkshire bought it. Amazing fake out to the bottom and then it held the dip. Came back up. We did well on it. Didn't hold it long enough though. So best setup in the market for me, buying on these trend breaks. I always sell too soon though, so we can work on that. Of course, people think this is going back up towards the all-time highs eventually, maybe over the next year or so. So there's a case for a longer term hold on it. Still has the investigation by the DOJ going on, which people don't seem too worried about. And Berkshire bought it, so they know what they're doing, right? Why would they buy it if there's a problem? Insider buying is off the charts on it as well. Intel, another big one. Trump's getting involved. Pumper in chief. Again, we sold this one too soon, but they have some news. Obviously, on this day, Trump started talking about it. And then yesterday, they had some news again. Let me see here. Yeah, $2 billion investment from SoftBank. Fascinating. So we wanted to see this pull back, and it was working on the. I wanted to see this pull back more, but then the SoftBank news came out, kind of screwed up the play. But really, probably should just still be long from this trend breakdown here. Still looking for that re-entry though. I won't chase it at the top. All right, here's the belt, guys. Good luck. See what we can do. PRFX. Looking like a juicy short. Gotta dodge the squeezes though. So everybody's thinking the same thing. Nike's chopping its way higher. Love to see it. Ooh, GXAI. Bit of a dip. Coinbase weak out of the gate. Still keeping an eye on Bitcoin too. What do we have Bitcoin doing? Yeah, Bitcoin's looking for the low. It's trying to hold a base somewhere. LASE spiking out of the gate. Nice. Well, BLTR down big. Seems super overvalued to me. Wow, look at that V-shaped failure on the daily. Coming back to reality a little bit. Nvidia dipping out of the gate. Gonna see if this one holds this trend or not. It's got to reclaim it now. It has failed the trend. So this is a big deal. All right, can we get a short? Oh, interesting. I just bought Neo. I have a really interesting little script running here. Just testing it out, but it just triggered on Neo. Neo's been in a wedge. This is basically Chinese Rivian. Pretty simple setup. Nice flag breakout. It faked out the bottom. Is it gonna have the follow through? That's the question. A lot of squeezes happening in small cap. That's nice to see. Mainly PRFX and LASE. GXAI trying. Oh, GXAI squeezing. Nice. Nice squeeze on GXAI. PRFX halted down. Beautiful. Wow, Intel spiking to 26. Nike holding up really well. GXAI, kind of scary one. Super expensive borrow on PRFX, as expected. Nice drop on Lays. Seems like GXAI wants to squeeze. It's either going to squeeze or it's going to dump really hard right here. Nice move on Tesla. Kind of wondering if Intel's going to be a short here in the morning. Morning spike is pretty big. I mean, Intel. Did I say Tesla? I meant Intel. Okay, GXAI weakening quite a bit. Beautiful. I think we're pretty much in the clear on that one. So we have that one short and LASE short. So we'll let those play out. GXAI is a pretty wild one though. I have some GME. I'm just gonna, I think I'm gonna cut my GME. It's not doing anything. I do have some ideas for GameStop, but I had a theory, but it didn't quite play out. Held it for a few days, whatever. Just no volume on it, which is bizarre. It's kind of, I don't know, it's hard to say. Trading towards the top of its most recent range, but we'll keep an eye on it. Maybe I can accumulate a little bit at a better average. The thing with GameStop right now is we have these bond traders that are involved now, and it seems like all the momentum's sucked out of it for whatever reason. Maybe I'll just downsize it a little bit. Just not my typical setup either. I like the trend breaks. There really isn't anything happening for GameStop. Just some nice consolidation sideways. I'm the GME expert. That's right. They're all leaving on YouTube, so all the good ones are gone. Yeah, the whole theory here is you've got crazy sideways consolidation for quite a while now. And there's a gap that needs to be filled. Now, this dropped because the bond traders have to hedge their short positions, or they hedge their bonds with shorts. So they shorted it like crazy over here just to hedge their bonds. And they don't care if the stock goes up or down, but they do need volatility to make their trade work and be profitable. So sideways action for them is bad. So it's really interesting that it's just staying sideways for so long. And they kind of got into this trade because they expected volatility. And there's been no volatility since they got in the trade. So it's kind of weird. Very strange. Plus, we're seeing all kinds of dark pool activity. So maybe all the activity is just taken off the exchange for now. But this is kind of an accumulation pattern. You can imagine if smart money is buying it, they always buy it whenever it's doing nothing. It's the best place to get in. Plus we have this trend line here. Pretty amazing trend line. over a year long, and it hasn't broken yet. If it does break that, it's going to drop pretty hard. And I'll probably short it. But that would be sad. I wouldn't want to have to do that. So I don't know if it's waiting for news. They do have earnings coming up relatively soon. It's going to be September 9th. And that should be a really big event for GameStop. GXAI coming back up. Still holding strong. It's a pretty nice looking flag. Am I getting squeezed or not? Wow, you came back down. You. Kind of annoying. Taking off a little bit of Nike, just a piece. Okay, so GXAI is either going to squeeze and do something crazy, or it's going to wick out this flag and then dump. All right, gonna have to cut that. All right, guys, I gotta get going. I'm gonna call it there for today. Probably keep an eye on GXAI a little bit longer. But pretty much break even right now. The swings are looking really good. So I'll put some updates in the Discord. And good luck, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow.